So, now that Andor is wrapping up and we're all talking about how great it has been, especially the second season, the third arc, I want to join these conversations and talk about how it does something specifically quite well, and that's tragic irony. For those who don't know, tragic irony is when the audience, knows something that the characters don't. In Andor, that's pretty much the entire show. Prequels tend to be that way. Think of Better Call Saul, but also Andor has the extra tragic irony in that we see both the Imperials and the Rebels. So when they one up each other, there's tragic irony involved because, well, we knew that the Rebels knew that, or we knew that the Imperials were planning that rebellion, so they would do the massacre. And that's how you want a show like this. It's not really about the action, it's about the espionage. Everybody's lying to others, to themselves, and none of them know that most of them are not gonna make it to the end. I mean, for half of the characters, we know for sure they're not making it to the end. And really, that's what makes it hurt. You know, they had to beat you over the head with it. Like, we had to see Andor saying, "Oh, this is my last mission," or "Oh, I'm gonna stop," when we know where this is leading, which is the Death Star, the end of the Empire. We know that the rebellion wins, but without them. I'm really curious to see how they're gonna finish up with Luthen. I mean, if he kinda just disappears in the background, I'm fine with that. Mostly because he actually is the least tragic in the sense that we're talking about. Because as he has said, he knows how that he will burn to make a sunrise he will never see. And you know, we believe him, we know it. But what he doesn't know is that even the sunrise will be tainted. Talking about the sequels, and I'm not gonna keep talking about them. And you know, even that, there's tragic elements into that. And we also saw that with Luke building his Jedi school. But anyway, moving on. Stepping up on the tragic irony, Mon Mothma, which by the way, can we just appreciate how Genevieve O'Reilly was cast to play the character in episode 3 and we had only the deleted scenes, and then she came back in Rogue One and she's now one of the main characters in the show. I love that. Man, it was so sad seeing how she really believed that she could find a diplomatic solution, but in the end she trades her daughter's future, although between us the daughter was gonna do that on herself. She had drank the Kool-Aid, let's say. But well, again, the sequels come in mind, but I don't want this to be a negative. But it will, because also Cyril, I'm terrible with names, so sorry. Cyril's devotion without a real purpose is also quite tragic, because let's think of it. Now that we saw him pass, let's think about it. He wants order, recognition, meaning, but the Empire doesn't care about him. In the end of the first season, he doubles down on loyalty. He gets punished, then demoted, then ignored, and he clings to Dedra. I hope I said that right. Like a symbol of, I don't know, structure. But even that's a bit of a fantasy. Even though we do see that she cares about him quite a lot. The tragedy is we laugh at him, but he's the face of every system that chews up the faithful. That's to speak about the real world. That's what I hate about all those grifters and all those fake gurus who exploit their followers. That's like so evil. I hate it. And he doesn't even know it. Like, even in the end, he thought he was there to find outside interference, but well, his end was really miserable. And Tedra, what did she win? I mean, she's an ISB officer climbing up the ladder, you know, discovering her own capacity for evil, essentially. Like that private room with all the Imperials, really reminiscent of, you know, the final solution. That's how I'm gonna say it. If you know, you know. And, you know, she thinks she's being clever, rational, even necessary. but she's building the very tools that will eventually destroy her. We know what happens in episode 4. Her tragedy is her ambition and how it will eventually take everything she loves. And talking about losing everything we love, Andor, man, what a great performance by Diego Lunas. Sorry if that's not how you pronounce the name. But we know his story. We know how Rogue One ends. And they know we know. That's why they just had to have him say, oh, this is gonna be my last mission. Even though we know it's not going to be. Like, it's such a horribly great way to create investment. Like, oh, let's see what's gonna change, what's gonna happen. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, as they say. You know what's gonna happen, you know you're gonna feel horrible, and you can't take your eyes away from it. But I do appreciate, again, like in Better Call Saul, how I assume, especially in this next 3 episodes, they're really putting all the pieces in their place to prepare for Rogue One. I'm really curious to see what they're gonna do with Bix. I mean, they don't have to show us her character again. I mean, Lord knows she has suffered enough. I mean, being tortured in the first season, being assaulted in the second. If you want my thoughts on that, I've made a video about it. But yeah, she's like such a powerful woman, such a powerful revolutionary. She's tortured, used, broken down until she forgets her own voice almost. And still, in the end, she whispers truth to Andor. And I know there is a conversation to be had with women's pain be used as motivation for other characters. I get that. I don't think we'd actually had this conversation as much as we should in this situation. Everybody was saying how, oh, this is not Star Wars and whatnot, missing the point where this is very much Star Wars, and in fact we should actually think about how women are portrayed in Star Wars just a bit. I don't know, I wonder if they're gonna do a flash forward as they did with Better Call Saul. Like, will Biggs find out what happened to Andor? Like, who knows? But yeah, I just really want to talk about the tragedy with all the characters just a little bit, just to add something new to the conversation, because so many people are doing so many wonderful videos on the show, and yeah, it's easy when it's so well written, where you can investigate every little part and you're gonna be rewarded for it. You know, guys, I never thought I'd be sitting here talking about tragic irony in a Star Wars show. I mean, okay, like, we're all fans here, you know, we all love Star Wars, but it's lightsabers, space battles, cool armor, cool lore and all that stuff. But here we are, unpacking those themes that typically you think belong in like Greek tragedies, which is where these terms originated, I think. And honestly, that's kind of the magic of it, that even in a galaxy far, far away, that's too far, yeah, anyway, how many? Human stories still kind of find a way to hit us where it hurts. I mean, even the original, in the end of the day, it's about the father loving his child enough to let him go and stuff. But yeah, again, this is just real Star Wars as far as I'm concerned.